Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. You've got me today. Andrew is off in the other part of the studio in his metal workshop, doing some enameling and some other fun things. So you're going to have to hang out with me today. I hope that's not a problem. Thank you for being here. If you're out there, please say hi. I see Susie is here and Sherry is here. I like Sherry's comment. I asked people in the comments to introduce yourself if you are out there, and Sherry says, I'm Sherry. I like long walks on the beach and glass beads. That's what we like to hear. We ain't got no beaches around here. Well, technically we used to. I don't know if many of you know, but there used to be a freshwater pool called Ligonier Beach here. And even a lot of famous people came through and were at Ligonier Beach. But it has closed a number of years ago. And they've been trying to reopen it. Parts that the township took over the beach, and they've been trying to figure out what to do with it. But I think there's a lot of new kind of regulations that prevent it from being the same thing that it used to be. So we ain't got no beach around here anymore, but we've got lots of glass beads, like all the ones behind me. We are going to be looking at lots and lots of glass beads today. I have 40 or 50 lots or so we're going to go through today, and hopefully you'll like them. I have lampwork. I have some African glass. I have a lot of vintage Czech glass. As you can see behind me, this wall at the top is mostly all vintage Czech glass. We have another wall over there of vintage Czech glass. We have some vintage Czech glass over here. So we have a lot of that, and we love it, and we hope you do too. I'm finally streaming on Instagram again. It finally let me stream on Instagram today. I don't know why it hasn't been, but today it's working. It actually gave me this huge notice at the top of my screen today saying that Instagram isn't working right for some people, and they're having them look into it. And today is the first day in a long time that it's actually working right. So whatever they're doing, it's working for us, thankfully. So I'm going to make sure I have my email cleared over here so that as we get going, we can get rolling. So how's everybody doing out there? What a day. What a day. It's been a busy day. Andrew and I have been up here at the cottage together for a lot of the day. A lot of times we kind of switch off. I come up here earlier in the day, and then I do my postal stuff and shipping stuff, and I drop stuff off at the post office. And then usually around that time, I start to head home and do some things from home. And then a lot of times Andrew will switch off and come up here until we do the live. And we came up at the same time today, earlier in the afternoon, or actually probably morning at this point. Neither one of us are really morning people. We work late into the evenings usually. And so Andrew's kind of more of an early morning person than me, only because he only sleeps about 4 hours a day at most. And that seems to work for him. He's been that way his whole life. I like my 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So oftentimes I don't really get up and moving until about 10 or 11 o'clock. But I'm usually up till 3 or 4. So I don't often get, I've been trying to go to bed before 1, before 2 at the latest. So I can try to get up by 10 and get my 8 hours in. But yeah, it's just where we're comfortable. My body, though, as I get older, I've realized it seems to want to wake up earlier. I don't know what that's about. My anxiety doesn't want to wake up earlier. My anxiety, I guess maybe my anxiety does. My body wakes up earlier, but I'm still tired because I obviously did not get a lot of sleep. And then my anxiety kicks into high gear at that point. And sometimes I can go back to sleep and sleep on it, and sometimes I cannot. But that's life, right? I don't know how all of you do it. Those of you who do I know some of you are very early nights. Some of you are in bed. I think we keep some of you up early or up later than you normally would be doing these lives. But I think we have fun together at least. But I do think that because we start these lives at 7:30, some of y'all stay up a little later than you normally would. And we appreciate that. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining us. Everybody's good at our house. We had a good day. It's trash night, so there are certain things, we did a little bit of house cleaning and tidying up the things that come with trash day, and do that little quick tidy before we have to throw out that last bag of trash. Do any of you do that? I'm trying to get over these stupid little things that we always do, or that I always do. I always feel like on trash day, you have to like max out the trash bag that you have in the kitchen. You have to max it out before you can throw it out. So I run around trying to fill it up. And then instead of just being like, it's going to happen again next week, you can just throw that bag out in a day or two when it actually is full. But yeah, I've been known to take out that bag of trash even when it's like half full, just because it's trash day. I'm trying to get over. I'm trying to be better about that. But there are certain weird things that we do sometimes, right? Another one is the dishwasher. We're just two people, and although we do cook a lot and we make most of our food at home, the dishwasher doesn't always get full right away, right? So you're left with, either waiting to fill it, which means the dishes are, they're dirty, they're sitting dirty in there, or you run it not full. And it is so hard for me to run it when it's not full. And we have an older dishwasher, and I know newer ones, they come out with these commercials saying that you can run the dishwasher when it's not full because it doesn't waste that much water. It's probably wasting more water to hand wash stuff. But yeah, these weird little things that I never had a dishwasher growing up. So this is not a thing from growing up that I was ingrained with or anything like that. I just have this in me that, like, why can't I run it half full? Why not? It's all right. But no, I've got to wait until it's full. And then usually, once it gets to that point, it's like, then it's too full. And then I end up hand washing things and running the dishwasher instead of just like running the dishwasher every day or two when it's half full. I don't know. I'm trying to get better about these things. I'm trying to learn these things about myself and get a little bit better about it. But do any of you have weird stuff like that? Or is it just me? Let's see here. Sherry says, just hang in there. You'll be having early bird dinner at 4 p.m. and up at 4 a.m. with the roosters. Something to look forward to. Yeah, I don't know. Although my mom was always a night person too, and it seems like she gets up a little bit earlier these days. I don't know. She still usually like a lot of times we'll end up chatting like after we're done with the lives, and that our lives usually end around 10:30 a lot of times. And by the time I get the spreadsheets done and the invoicing done, it's 11:30. And a lot of times I'll text my mom at that point and just check on her day and stuff like that. And she's still awake. And I don't know what time she's getting up these days. I know it seems earlier than it used to be, especially since she's retired and she doesn't have to be. Like, she had to be up for work for some things, but she also worked the night shift for part of her life too, because she was a night person. But I do think the shift does happen because my body seems to want to get up a little bit earlier these days, and I am not about it because I don't, I, in Maybe it's a mental thing. If I just got up, maybe I'd probably be fine. And on the days where we have things that we absolutely have to do, like we're going places, and I get up and go, I'm fine in a little while, but I'm very groggy for quite a while. But yeah, anyway, maybe I don't need as much sleep anymore as I think, but it does make my body feel better if I sleep. Susan said the feline overlords are our alarm clock and they are unforgiving. Gertie has started to be a little bit of an alarm clock. I think because I wake up early, I usually wake up and I kind of move around a little bit and I tap my phone to, bring it to life to see what time it is. And I know I sleep with my phone in my room and I shouldn't, but I do. Probably why I wake up with anxiety, checking on things right away. And I think she must sense that. I think Barnaby and her, I think the two of them sleep kind of outside the bedroom door, at least at that hour. And I think sometimes she hears me, that little bit of motion that I have. And she sometimes will just start crying or start scratching on the door. And usually when I finally do get up and make the bed a little bit and open the door, she's like right there. So she is a little bit of an alarm clock, and when they could sleep with us, we don't let them in the room now. When they were able to sleep with us, they would just sleep in with us. If we were sleeping, they were sleeping. But we don't let them in now because it makes Andrew's realize that that he has better. His sinus issues and allergy issues are better if he doesn't let them sleep all over him. And so we've been, I always feel bad because, they kind of learn to sleep with us and then now we don't, but we do sleep better because they're not running around, because they would at some parts of the night just kind of run around the room. But she's getting a little bit, it's harder to quiet them because you can't just grab them and cuddle with them now. So they do run around and make noise. So it's maybe that's part of it too. Hello, Norma. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you're here today. Since we do most of our cooking at home and wind up running our dishwasher every 2 days or so. I have 2 dishwashers. Norma says, at the end of my arms. Yeah, I grew up that way with no dishwasher. And I swore when I was growing up, I was like, we don't need a dishwasher. I don't need a dishwasher. Who needs a dishwasher? And now that I have a dishwasher, I kind of like it. I still do hand wash a good bit. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have one. But I just got to get in the process of just using it more because I feel like I said, we end up waiting until it's like full. Like I have this thing, it has to be full to run it. And then I end up with too much at some point because it never works out perfectly. And I end up hand washing anyway because it gets so full and then I run it and then you're not going to wait until you empty it to run it again. So you're just going to hand wash the dishes. Which defeats the point of having the dishwasher. Yeah, let's see here. Susan says, I usually go upstairs around 9 p.m., no later than 10. I like having an hour to read and listen to music. Yeah, I need to do something like that. I need to cut myself off at a certain point and do something like that. Because when I had a really good book that I was into at one point, and I was doing that. I was making it a point to go to bed about an hour earlier than normal and go up and read. And that was actually kind of I was less stressed out when I was doing that. And I think I need to do that again. I need to do that. I think it helps a lot. Hello, Angela. Thanks for joining us. Norma says, I would love to have one, but I don't have cabinet space to give up for it. Yeah. We were in our apartment and we got a countertop one, which if you don't have the under cabinet space, you may not have counter space. We really didn't either, but we used it. And it was really kind of nice because that was one. It was big enough for like 4 plates and 4 bowls, or some cups, and you couldn't really fit like huge pans or anything in it, but your normal dishes and your cooking utensils and things like that, it was kind of nice because you just throw them in there, and it was just the two of us, and we were still cooking a good bit, but back then we were eating out too, so it wasn't as much. And although we could have hand washed everything, we were also on a well, and so the dishwasher I think was a little bit better as far as um, water usage than just hand washing and running running the water a lot to do, or filling up the sink to hand wash. So we put them in there, and then it would wash them. And it was pretty nice, a little countertop one. Susan says, I hand wash some things like my mom and grandmother's good china. Everything else goes in the dishwasher. Yeah, there's not a lot that doesn't go in our dishwasher. There are certain things that, I kind of ruined one of our cups at one point because it had a gold, I should have known better. It had a gold, it was pottery from a fairly famous potter, and it had gold decals on it. And I don't know what possessed me to put it in the dishwasher, but because we have a number of pieces from that artist, and I think I just didn't realize that it was that one, and I just kind of threw it in there. And then once I took it out, I realized that I had, like, the gold decals were no longer on there. And we have a few things like that have decals or gold stuff on them, and it doesn't really work well in the dishwasher. But then Andrew threw some stuff in there, one of his cups, and it had gold, and it came out fine. And so I was like, oh, now I know I can throw these in here and not ruin them. So that was another thing that I figured out, which was nice, because I always hand wash. We have these big tea mugs, and they have gold handles, and they're not expensive. They were, I think they were like from Pier 1 on clearance or something. We got them. And but now I know I can throw them in the dishwasher. So yay, I don't have to hand wash them anymore. Hello, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us. How's the painting going? And anything else you're doing? Yeah, so today, hey, there's Charlie. Charlie's over on Instagram. We got a few people on Instagram. I have to look way over here because our computer's way over here today. But thank you for joining us over there on Instagram. If you're out there, we have finally been able to stream to Instagram. I don't know if it's actually streaming or not, because it's still showing me that it's stuck. Oh, so you can see, hopefully you can see me and hear me. It's showing that it's stuck on the preview page. So hopefully that's not the case. It says, hello, my mom has a countertop dishwasher. She loves it, but I hand wash everything. Yeah, I got the countertop one, and we were kind of like, why are we even doing this? Because it's not really big enough to put everything in, and we could just hand wash stuff. But you know what? When you can rinse those dishes and just throw them in there and then run that, there's something about it. There is something about it that just feels better than sitting at the sink and hand washing all of them. I can see you and hear you. Oh, good, because Instagram has not been working for us for the last month. We keep trying it every once in a while, and it just will not stream. And today, like I was saying earlier, they put up a big banner telling me that Instagram wasn't working. So I'm like, probably not going to work again, but maybe they're finally working on it. And then I tried it, and today's the first day that it's actually worked for us when it doesn't seem to be working for other people. So of course it would work for us on the day that it works for no one else. Hello, Lennis. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. I was lurking in YouTube, but couldn't bother you. Oh, why? You can comment on YouTube. Thank you for lurking anyway. We've been talking about you, Charlie, every once in a while. Andrew brings you up for certain things. So maybe you were lurking. You just didn't say anything. Yeah, so we've got glass today. I'm not going to take too long for introductions because y'all are here, and I don't have anything very exciting to report today. It was a very benign day. I had to fill out a form for jury duty. I got summoned. We'll see if I actually get called or not. I have to check on Friday to see if I get called for jury duty, apparently. But yeah, that's not fun. But that's that. I went to the post office after I dropped off some people's packages. Some of y'all got some pretty nice packages coming out. We appreciate that and all the support. We do have a sale going on in the online store. If you didn't know, you can save 25% off using the discount code July 4th. That'll go through the weekend. We started that sale early because we what's the word? Renovated, we improved, we changed our online store. And so when you go to allegorygallery.com now, you are not presented with tons of products right up front. You are presented with kind of more about us and information about us. And we wanted people to look at it, and we want people to visit, and we want people to see what's going on. So yeah, I hope you like it. I worked on it a little bit more today. So if you have looked at the website and you noticed maybe today, if you checked it out again, that the portion about the Johnstown store now has its own page. I built a page today for the Johnstown store quickly and wrote a little bit about why we have a store and what we're doing there. So if you haven't checked that out, please do check that out. If you haven't checked out Andrew and my sections, Andrews and my sections. Yeah, I think that's how that would be grammatically correct. The mine and Andrews, if I put myself first. No? Yes? Anyway, if you haven't checked those pages out, please do. We tried to build a page for Andrew because he doesn't have his own website as an artist. And a lot of times when he fills out applications for scholarships and things like that, things are, he always puts Allegory Gallery as his website because his products, his art and things are on there. But this time we tried to build out kind of more of a little bit of a page for him. And as we were doing that, I decided to build out a page for me and a page for the store and a page for Star Cottage Studio, which I still have to. Star Cottage Studio is the last one that I haven't done yet. But that way on our pages, you can go to our pages and see Andrew's art. So I have his enamel work there, I think, and his original art, like his paintings and collages and things. And then on mine, I have my pottery and some of the little image transfer things that I've done. And so that gives us each a little page to be able to point to if we need to do that. So it's like our own little page on the website. And I think that makes it a little bit nicer. It's not quite a full-blown website for him, which we have talked about and have secured some names from time to time for that, but still haven't quite gotten there yet. Let's see. I use a tablet, Charlie says, to watch, and I can't type on it since I'm usually cooking. That makes sense. That makes sense. Suzanne says, good luck. I've been called 9 times. So oh my goodness. I have been called to jury duty in my entire life. I think this is the 3rd time. Andrew gets called a lot. I, knock on wood, do not. Maybe 4 times. The first few times I was called, first time or two, I called in, they call the night before, whatever, and they didn't need me. They dismissed me. So that was good. I got called one time when I was in Brooklyn, and I went in, and sat there all day, and then they asked me questions when I went into they're talking to the lawyers. And I guess one of the lawyers or both of the lawyers, somebody did not like my answer because I did not get chosen. And so I'll be going in on Monday, which I had booked another appointment for Monday. So I have to probably call and cancel that just in case, because I won't know in enough time to cancel it otherwise. So yeah, so, fun. Anyway, discount code July 4th, 25% off in the online store. My new pottery is in there. Hey, there's the pottery piece. I was looking for this one. I didn't add this one yet because I lost track of it. So now it's here, and I can add that to the online store. So maybe I'll add that tonight and get that piece in there. And I don't know if I have that piece. I have to look. I have some other pieces floating around here I have to make sure are there. Sue says, our not exciting day consists of getting an oil change for our car, getting sandwiches, and a short grocery store run. Nice. You know, sometimes a low-key day like that is good. Yeah, we didn't do much. We were just here working. Andrew was organizing things. He's been working in the metal studio. I've been packing and shipping. I did meet with a friend. We had a delivery here in Ligonier. One of our friends is closer to Ligonier than Johnstown and bought some stuff. And so I did a little drop off with them, and it was good to see him. We haven't really seen him since I mean, he's come to Johnstown a few times, thankfully, but we don't see him as often as we did in the Ligonier store because it's a little further away. And so we are, that was nice. That was a nice part of the day. Other than that, we had some lunch. That was it. Andrew made some good, he made some fake burgers with, he toasted in the skillet, he toasted / grilled the buns with something, I don't know what. He worked some magic and then made the burgers and then made some eggs for on top of the burgers. And we had Swiss cheese and ketchup and nice little quick lunch, which was good. We might have that for dinner too, because I don't know what else we have for dinner. We didn't go to the grocery store today. But he also made some kind of, we got some Nilla wafers today and some pudding, some vanilla pudding, because he's making some kind of dessert concoction. So I'm interested in that. I can't wait for that tonight. Sue says, I've been called for jury duty once, but it wasn't needed. It might be interesting, but they don't pay for parking and only pay $18 a day. Yeah, they do not pay a lot here. They are definitely, it is definitely not gonna be, I don't want to say it's not worth my time, because I think it's an important thing, right? It's that thing that everybody loves to hate, but it is an important thing. I don't want to get called for a case, hopefully, just because I can't really take a lot of time off. So hopefully I get dismissed right away and I don't even have to go. That would be nice. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, because it's definitely not, it's not making up the money that we would need to keep our business afloat, for sure. Kimberly says, I'm going to knock on wood here, but I've only been summoned once, and it was right after I moved out of the country, so I was or out of the county, so I was dismissed. Yeah, I don't get summoned a lot. Andrew gets summoned over and over and over and over and over again. It's weird. Let's see, listening whilst doing laundry, so can't type much, says Lettuce. Kimberly says, oh, that sounds yummy. It was good. Suzanne says, we get paid $6. Yeah, I don't know what the pay is. It's something tremendously low. I can't remember what Andrew got the last time he went, but super duper low. One day, not so bad. If it turns into more than one day because I get called for something, for a trial or something, that's not great. Not great at all. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. Troy said, I had friends over for afternoon tea and to watercolor. That's nice. That's nice. We have some friends coming over. I believe Ren is coming on Friday up here to the cottage. So that'll be nice to see Ren again. And I think that's the 4th, right? 4th of July, I think. So that'll be nice to see Ren again, and we'll kind of hang out. I'm going to have the store closed all weekend. I need to put up I keep thinking, all day today I've been thinking I need to put up a banner. I need to put up a listing saying that we're going to be closed this weekend. Have I done it yet? No, of course not. Sue says, knock on wood, but we've heard very few fireworks. In past years, it would be very noisy. I think our town is clamping down. Those fireworks are expensive now. They are expensive. Andrew wanted to have sparklers for his teacher at Touchstone for Barbara, because they were part of a memory she had. And so I picked up some sparklers. They're expensive for just a thing of sparklers, let alone actual fireworks. I was looking at prices. I'm like, there is no way. Although our fireworks place, apparently, if you buy $800 worth of fireworks at once, you get them half off. You get them $400. And then you get into the half off club, I guess, right? After that. So, yeah. But that's a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money to spend on things that go boom. We'll see what it's like around here. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's not. But usually there's something that happens around here. Visitors are fun. I hope all the pets will be okay this weekend. Yeah, it's a hard weekend for pets and veterans, right? That's what people don't realize. Like, it's one thing with pets, right? Pets are always, but it is hard for some veterans because of PTSD. And so veterans are a really big group of people that are affected by fireworks. Some people don't think about that. And I think we need to think about our veterans because it's very important. So, is he bringing to me? Oh, Ren. No, Ren, they are not. They are coming by themselves, I believe. And it's just to hang out, and we'll hang out at the cottage again. So that's good. Lennis's next city over is actually having a drone show. No fireworks. That's interesting. Fireworks are illegal here, says Suzanne. That's kind of good. They were illegal in Pennsylvania for a very long time. It didn't stop people from getting them because you go over the border to Ohio and people would buy them and then just bring them back. But they made them more legal here. I think you still can only buy so many without a permit or such a size. I can't remember what it is, if they're still the same kind of. At first, when they legalized them or semi-legalized them, you still had to get certain permits for certain things. I don't know if you still have to or not. When I went in to buy sparklers, all I was doing is going in to buy sparklers. They needed my ID. They needed to look it up. They needed to print me out some sheet. And so they're keeping track of what you buy, at least. And so I don't know how much that is, but I just bought sparklers. I kind of wish they were illegal here, but I also think that it didn't matter because we still had people setting off huge amounts of fireworks, legal or not. Hello, Anna. Thanks for joining us. Sherry says, I haven't purchased in years. What's the price of sparklers? I can't, if it was $19 or something like that for a pack of 6 boxes of sparklers, like, it was a little bit wild. Like, I think that's a lot. Maybe that's not a lot to some people, but for sparklers, there's like, what, 10 in a box or something like that, and they last like a minute each. That's not a lot of time doing stuff. I think it was $19 for the box of sparklers for a 6-pack. And it says, I don't like loud noises in general. I have anxiety and they trigger mine. Yeah, I don't. The anxiety with that, I've never had that much of an issue, thankfully. It does sometimes because, well, there's lots of trauma behind that, but for the most part, I've been okay with that. And you kind of know around here that what's going on. But some people buy those really big booming ones, and that's like Andrew. Something went off the other day. He said it shook the whole building here, and that's sometimes those really big booming fireworks that they do. So we'll see. So this is, the older I get, the less enamored of fireworks. Our cats hate them. Gilbert hates them. The rest of them it doesn't really concern them, thankfully. But Gilbert still does not like loud noises. He's getting better, though. The last thunderstorm, he actually didn't run under the bed. I was really surprised. He was still out and about with everybody. I think part of it is because we were all there in the same room kind of doing things together. So he was a little bit more comfortable, but he usually goes to run under the bed. But the girls, I don't even think they notice most of the time. And Barnaby, he doesn't really care. But we have had pets before that did not like them. Sure, so that's so sad that they are hurting, right? And it's, I wish they still were illegal, right? Let's see here. Whoops. Oh, lots. Vicky says fireworks started a few days ago here, later than usual. Not just veterans are affected, but others with PTSD can be traumatized. Absolutely, it's anybody. But you know, like when you talk about people with PTSD, the general public, I would say, have less of a care about that than if you actually talk about veterans and them having PTSD. At least that sometimes, you know, makes a little bit of a you know, presence or a little bit of a point to people. Unfortunately, you know, mental health is not always looked at in the same way that other things are by a lot of people. And, you know, I've experienced that with anxiety. I don't know how many times I've been told, well, just do the thing and get over it. And, you know, things that I'm worried about, well, just don't think about it. Or, you know, that's just you focusing too much on things. Well, if it were that easy. But when you talk about veterans and people see that there's a relation with why they might be feeling these things, then sometimes you can at least make a point to people. Sherry says, I live in the woods, so it's a big no here. Yeah, my grandparents had a lot of woods around them, and the neighbors would sometimes in the adjoining woods try to do things, and it was just like, why are you doing this? Sue says fireworks are illegal in both St. Louis City and county, so people go to the next county over to purchase fireworks illegally. Yeah, that's what happened here. We're fairly close to the Ohio border. I mean, it's a good 2 or 3 hour drive probably, but people would from my town all the time drive over the border, and the fireworks company knew it. They put the store on practically on the border. It was on the highway. It was on the next exit after the border. You know, they knew what they were doing, and so people would buy stuff, and they just bring it back into the state. There was no stopping people. Hello, Donna. Kimberly says, so about 32 cents a sparkler. See, you work it out. See, that seems like a lot to me. 32. I mean, it's not when you, I guess, when you break it down, maybe, but that's like burning. That's like just tossing more than a quarter away every 50 seconds. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Throwing away over a quarter every 50 seconds, because that's what the burn time was. It was 45 to 50 seconds. So that's, yeah, I don't know about that. Anna says, yes, PTSD is a diagnosis I've not gotten, but I surely feel like I have it. Let's trauma bond, William, LOL. Let's maybe sometimes that, you know, let's not. I've been trying to do less of that, but, you know, I think it's important. Like I think there's a fine line, right, between talking about these things and acknowledging them and allowing it to help other people, and then trauma bonding, because trauma bonding is generally not something that I want to do with people. You know, it's easy to do, and people do it a lot. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much, you know, finding things that are bad and using them as a means to create a friendship, or, you know, a relationship, or just to have something to talk with people about. And really, it focuses your energy in a very negative way. And you start setting up those associations with people sometimes. Like, you know, did you ever see somebody who comes in the door and you're just like, it's going to take a lot of energy for this person right now because all they talk about are bad things. And um, and those bad things may be important, but sometimes that's all that you feel like you talk about is bad things. And sometimes you're in the mood for that. And when you're in the mood for that and you get together with people like that, you can just go on and on and on. And it feels like you're having a really good time talking about bad things, if that makes any sense. It feels like you're bonding really well with that person and you get each other, Um, but you're focusing your energy in such a negative way, and it's really hard to pull yourself out of that. Um, and the more you do that with more people that surround you, the more your outlook on things starts to look very negative. Because if you surround yourself with people that you only trauma bond with, what are you talking about constantly and consistently? Negative things. So even though those negative things make you feel like you're closer to people, you're becoming close with people that are enabling you to only talk about things that are bad. And if you believe in manifestation like I do, the more you put yourself in that situation and with those people talking about those things, the more you are going to bring upon those bad things to yourself and the people around you. So sorry, I keep looking at Instagram just to see if I have any more comments over there. So, trauma bonding is something that's very easy to do because it's easy to go negative. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why it's easy to go negative because negative does not feel good. Positive stuff, talking about positive things feels really good. But I think sometimes either we don't believe we deserve to feel good like that, or we, for some reason, feel that it's harder to do that. I think the world has been in a lot of ways set that negative things are well, it keeps you from sometimes doing the positive things, which we won't get into people with power and all that either in this too much, but yeah, I think, and I know that was just a funny comment, but I think that's a good thing to think about too. Who you're surrounding yourself with. They talk about you become the people that, the 5 people that surround you determines who you are, kind of. Something like that. Maybe it's 7 people, I can't remember. 7 closest people to you or 5 closest people to you kind of determine who you are, because that's what you are. Those are the people that you talk to. That's what you become. The things that you talk about with those people. Anyway, hello Nancy. Thanks for joining us today. Wow, I'm behind in comments. Let me catch up here. My ex's family is big on pyrotechnics. My sister-in-law, her parents love to do fireworks, and you know what? We used to set them off. We had a little house by the lake, and they would set them off when my brother lived there over the lake. And you know what? It was nice. I can't say it wasn't nice. Sometimes they would go with ones that had less of the boom, 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 and they were just mostly the lights, which was nice. But there is something very nice about it when you watch them. And I like the fireworks that are big and they make lights and they twinkle and that kind of stuff. I don't get the booming fireworks for just having sounds. And some people love that. They love to set off the ones that pretty much only make noise. If there's no visuals with it, I don't see the point. And now they are making fireworks that just have visuals and no sound, which is extra nice. Can I hide under the bed with Gilbert? I know sometimes I want to too, just because. Donna says, I live in rural Chilton County and they're illegal in the cities, but I live in an unincorporated area and I hate them because my dog is terrified of loud noises. All my neighbors shoot them off. Yeah, it's hard. Suzanne says it upsets my girls. There's a business caddy corner from us, this Susan, that used to set off a ton of fireworks. My husband once saw a couple of flatbeds of fireworks being delivered to them. That didn't happen last year. Wow, a flatbed. That's incredible. When my old boss would hold his summer party for customers, he would oftentimes set off a fireworks display, but it was professionally done. and they would bring in a fireworks company to do it, and it was insanely expensive to have the professional fireworks. I believe back then, and this was in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, I think it was $1,000 a minute. I think he spent, and it was like a 10 to 15 minute display that he'd put on. So he'd spend $10,000 to $15,000 just for those kind of fireworks. Charlie says, I'm at one of those moments I can't write. Be back. I should trauma bond with good things like too much fun or too much food. I know, right? Yeah. Waldo hates fireworks, says Norma, and thunder. The other two cats seem okay. I hate when they keep setting off the loud booming ones until well after midnight. Yeah, we're usually so busy that we barely hear the fireworks a lot of times whenever there is, because we are not trying to sleep at those hours yet. Those are like, midnight is still like prime time for us doing things. So we're active and usually have our radio or TV on, and we barely hear stuff a lot of times. And I think that does help us and our cats, because we're not like all like kind of tucked in and then everything starts happening. She says Phil will growl at thunder and fireworks. That's kind of cute. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for joining us. And this is my dear Bella Pup, R.I.P. was traumatized by loud noises before we rescued her. She was triggered by anything loud, so it was stressful for her and me. It's hard when you know someone is, someone or your pet is stressed out by them, because it makes you stressed out. And if you're extra stressed out, it's hard, right? I thought I was going to jump right into the show tonight, but we're talking about stuff, and I like that when we get chatty. Kim says we get the extra long ones, the sparklers. Yeah, we got. I got the normal size ones. They had ones that were like 2 feet long or something like that. That was pretty wild, but they were much more expensive, much more. And I was like, that's not the memory that we're trying to bring back, because those weren't available. I know when I was growing up. Anna says, LOL, just kidding. I was just being open about my own mental health. I'm not a trauma bonding person. I know. But I think it's important to talk about that stuff, right? Some people don't even know what that is, and they don't realize if they're doing it. But a lot of people, will trauma bond, and you think you're building this great friendship when the friendship is really based on negative energy and negative things. And Lettuce is literally why I've been antisocial lately, not wanting to talk about health stuff. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. This 4th, we're just looking forward to watching movies, says Susan, classic Toho monster movies, and eating our fill of silly stuff. Nice. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Oops. Whoa, I'm far behind. I'm trying to catch up, everybody. Sherry says, I have a couple of narcs that I can't leave family in my life. I have to guard my loins to deal with them. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Teresa's fostering 4 3-week-old kittens. They are being bottle fed. I'm worried about the fireworks and how they're going to react. I always try and say, if you don't react, I think animals sense that. And there are some animals I know that no matter how you react, it is what it is. But especially when they're young like that, I think they more feed off of the energy of their mama, right? And you are at this point their mama. So I hope that if you are strong for them, they will also not feel worried. I think that's a big thing. I have noticed that as I work with my anxiety, and as my anxiety is lower, the cats are much more comfortable as well. Like I was pretty anxious yesterday, and today has been a little bit calmer. I've been trying to, work through it mentally and think about things and put myself in a better place. And all of a sudden today, Gilbert crawled up on me and fell asleep when we were home for lunch. I felt so bad having to get up and come back to the cottage. But he does not usually do that. Because I think he knows I'm more of an anxious person a lot of times, and he's an anxious little boy a lot of times. But he crawled right up on me and fell asleep. It was super cute. So I think a lot of times they do, because they do say cats especially look at their people as parents. I read that in an article recently. The cats are more kind of, they feel like we are their parents. And I think if we show that we aren't as nervous, I think that definitely helps. Hello, Sandra. Thanks for joining us. Susan says, we guess that business got read the riot act. They were amateurs, used to see fireworks that never got up in the air. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Susie says, not to change that, but your hair looks really nice. Thanks. I got it cut a few days ago, and I left it longer, but she worked it out. Kind of like it. I've been trying to do stuff with, I don't know. It's a different look for me, and I'm used to letting it go long and then cutting it short. And this keeping it long has been a little bit, I don't know, but thank you. Donna says, the small town closest to me will have a fireworks show done by the local fire department, but it's right after dark, about 8 miles away, so the sound dies before it gets to my house. That's good. That's good. Anna says, once you've met a person who trauma bonds, you recognize them. Yeah, hopefully, unless you are one of them, right? If you don't realize that you are one of them, sometimes it takes a while. I used to do it. Andrew talks about it too. But we once had an event at our house, and we had friends over, and people were talking about things, and the situation started to get into some pretty dark stories about growing up and childhood trauma and things like that. And I will never forget, and Andrew will never forget, we had 2 or 3 people that were like literally trying to outdo each other with how bad their trauma was. And this was like Thanksgiving or something. It was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think it was Thanksgiving. And I'm like, this is not what Thanksgiving, like, of all the things you could make Thanksgiving about. I mean, it was originally a very traumatic time, yes. But like, it's supposed to, we're changing it, trying to make it about giving thanks and being grateful and all of that. And they kept going worse and worse and worse, trying to outdo one another with their childhood and early adolescent trauma. And finally, we just had to say, whoa, like, let's make friends about different things. And that kind of showed me a little bit of the light. Like, I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be talking to people and, bonding over how bad we could remember our lives to be, and how bad our situations were, because, we are allowed at any point to redefine ourselves. And if we keep defining ourselves with those old stories, that's what we're going to be. So, it takes a lot, to be introspective and think about things. But you are allowed to redefine yourself and who you are at any point, and no one should be able to stop you in doing that. So that's when I saw that, I was like, I don't want to be one of those people anymore. I don't want to be this person that talks about only the bad things. And I get pulled into it. I definitely still do it. Sometimes when I have a chat session with old friends, we're sitting together and we're talking about the bad things happening. And, because it's that camaraderie. We're going to gather together against the forces of evil. But all you're doing, though, is spending negative energy. And so when I see myself or my friends trying to do that now, when it hits me that we're doing that, or that's going on, I always try and shift it into a different place nowadays. But you do recognize people. Some people are just like that, and some people you're not close enough to help, right? You can't always help anyway. And so, yeah, sometimes when you see those people coming in the door, it's hard. Sherry says he's sensitive and he was trying to heal you. Yeah, and I think I think in that way, but he also felt that that I was calm enough to be with him, because he is very sensitive, and if I'm very anxious, I won't see him very much. He'll tend to stay away, and so the fact that he felt I was calm enough, I think it was a nice thing. Hello, Susan. Thanks for joining us. Susan says, "Well, I think your hair looks great." Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, Teresa says, I agree with you. My 3 cat fur babies are not afraid, so I'm hoping that they are not afraid. I think they'll be good. I think you'll be good. I have a good feeling, especially if your 3 aren't and you aren't. There's no reason for them to be, right? Don't show them that they need to be afraid of it. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for joining. Linda says, I don't mind talking about some things that made me who I am, so new people get to know me better. My issues with people who amp up the drama factor to hold attention. I don't do that or like it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I talk about things that happened in my past, and, coming out and vitiligo and drugs and alcohol that we went through with um, um, in my childhood, as a family. But and it does help people get to it. It helps, I think, sometimes allow people to allow them to know that you understand them if they have gone through that, right? That's why I like to use it, because if you talk from a place of not, if you talk from a place like that, sometimes, unless they know you've gone through it, it doesn't resonate, and you can't help anyone. Not that you have to help anyone, but sometimes it's nice if you can. And so, yes, I think there is a point, but I've also learned that if I keep defining myself as this kid who had a hard time growing up and fought all of this and worried about all of this, then I'm still going to be that little kid in a lot of ways. And so I'm trying to get out of that a little bit more, and just kind of acknowledging too that there were good times. There were things that were happy. There were things that, I also did have a lot of fun as a kid, like trying to, because I have defined myself by a lot of this stuff. And in a lot of ways, I don't like how that has turned out. And in a lot of ways, I do appreciate how that has turned out. But I can also add to my repertoire, right? But yeah, some people are definitely just amping it up to amp it up, and that is no good, not fun. What is this new YouTube thing? I have no idea what you're talking about, Michelle. What is the new YouTube thing? Nobody has mentioned it yet, so I don't know what that is. Sherry says, I tell my kitties to come to me or daddy if they get scared, and they do. I'm very grateful. Yeah, that's good. That's what we say. Ours know. I think ours know. They can come to us if they need to, but we have number crowns. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen number crowns. I've also been out of the tech loop lately because I've not been reading my tech news. Normally, I'm like reading the tech news like it's my job, and it's not really anymore. But I've been missing out sometimes. It shows a number with a crown and a purple and an EXP. I have not read that. I'm going to have to check into that. Top of the page is a crown with the number 75. What is that? It's a ranking. You get points for comments. Oh, let's gamify this, everybody. I like that, actually. That gives you a reason to comment more. Anna says, right, we need to change our narrative to being a survivor and resilient versus victim mentality. It's a positive versus negative in my book. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. And even being a survivor, even that's questionable, right? Not being a survivor, but just being, right? And if it helps to go, like, I think it helps most people, right, to go through that survivor, like I survived it. But I think there also comes a point when you go past that. You start kind of sometimes in the victim, right? And you get resilient and you go to survivor. But I think there also has to come a point past that. I think there's more past that where you are just you. You get through all of that, hopefully, and you don't have to rely on surviving that anymore, because it becomes something that isn't. Hopefully, it becomes something that isn't even relatable in some ways. Like, I don't mean that to be a bad thing, but in a very positive light, that you don't relate to that at all anymore. And I think that's where I'm trying to go with it, to the point that I love to help people with things that I have been through, but I also, for my own sake, want to get to the point where I don't even consider that as something that I need to think about anymore. And whether that's, in some ways, is that magical thinking, or is that I don't know, editing your own history? Maybe, but maybe that's good. I don't know. Anyway, I don't quite know all the time where I am yet. And the things I say like this are things that I'm just, these are kind of the present moments that I'm in, and they're I allow myself the leeway to change them at any time, right? I'm trying to be more flexible with myself, but I do want to get past the point that I'm just a survivor of what I went through. Trying to acknowledge what I went through, acknowledge that yes, it was bad enough to consider yourself a survivor, right? Because sometimes we don't allow ourselves to believe that there was anything to survive, like it wasn't that bad. Things were, I had not a great time sometimes, but I had a really good time in other ways. And I would like to choose now to focus on, instead of telling that hardship story all the time, to focus on the things that really went well in my life, and the good luck that I had, and the synchronicities that brought forth all the things that I have really wanted, right? I feel very fortunate to live the life that I have now. And while it is difficult sometimes, it's one of those things that it's a beautiful thing. I've said this before, like, as a kid, I wanted my own small business. We've got it. I wanted somebody I loved and loved me unconditionally, and married them, and did that. Wanted lots of pets, have them. Wanted a house of our own. We've got that. And all these things that, there were a lot of hardships and still are along the way, but these things are here, and I can focus on them and the joy they bring, or you can focus on things that were hard along the way but aren't here anymore. And I'm trying, my anxiety does not help, but I'm trying to focus on those things that are good and that they're here. Like you out there. I would rather focus on all of you out there who support us and understand what we talk about, and like talking about these things that we like talking about, rather than, the few people that may be naysayers, or the few people that are bad mouthing us out there, because it happens. I know that, but I would rather not focus on them. Susie says, I came over to YouTube to comment. Thank you. Lena says, yeah, comments are good for AG, but this is also a competitive thing. If it has comment ranks, I don't know. Can you see other people's rankings or just your own? Anna says, yes, that's a tricky word, survivor, right? Because it can be positive. I think survivor can be positive, very positive. It's a very positive word at first. And then I think the longer you wear that badge, sometimes it can fall into negative space, right? Yeah, I don't know. And so I think I think we always have to keep looking for the next best thing, the next better thing, right? And I think once you get to survivor, and once you kind of realize that within yourself, and you kind of align with that, I think you have to look for the next thing. And what's the next thing? It's just that you've moved past it all, right? You don't have to consider yourself anything anymore other than who you are, and just consider yourself me, or I. Susan says, weird, I don't have a crown. Maybe not everyone has it yet. It's called Super Chat, I think, says Michelle. Yeah, if you click on the 75 XP, you will see we are all the same. Anna says, you do what is right for you. We're all on a journey, right? I think so. And I think it's nice when you can share that with people. I like that. I like sharing mine with all of you. I like when you share yours with us, and we may not always agree in the same things and think the same way, but I think it's fun. You know, that's what makes things interesting. Because we all, in the end, all of us here want the best for each other. And we may not agree on how that works, but if it's working for you, by all means, do your thing, right? It may not work for me, and I may not think it's a good idea for me, but I have no right to say that to you, right? Unless I'm concerned about you, then I may voice an opinion, right? And I would expect other people to as well. Michelle, I'm not sure about the crown thing is all about, but I'll be on the lookout for it. The word survivor is a tough one for me, says Susan. I've had 2 breast cancers and won't consider myself a survivor until the day I die of something else. Yeah, you know, it's a tricky word. I think it's a very tricky word. And you know, depending on what is causing it, what is, you know, cancer is one of those things. You know, I never want that to happen to somebody we care about, but cancer comes back and you know, it puts you in a different space. I know with Andrew, when he had his, it kind of changed my outlook on things too. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to me through him. And so it's one of those things that it's that thing, right? It's always there. So you try and take care of yourself the best you can. And yeah, I think that can be said for a lot of things in a lot of situations people are in. It's a tricky word. It's a tricky word. And Susan says, wow, Susan, that's a lot to go through. Yes, it is a lot to go through, isn't it? Let's see here. Oops. What is going on here? Everybody's saying it's a lot to go through, Susan. It is. And I've had a few family members that have gone through that too a number of times. And it's not hard, or not easy. It's very hard. And so lots of love and light out to you, for sure. Let's see here. Anna's not seeing the ranking. My screen just shrunk, which is why I'm having a hard time scrolling now. Norma is winning, apparently, says Lennis. It is a lot, but everyone has something they are dealing with. It's true, right? You can click on an XP and see where everyone ranks, and you can put money in to rank higher. Of course, you can pay to rank higher, right? Kimberly says, it's weird, I cannot see the ranking from my phone, but I can see it on the computer. I don't care about the crown or the points. I just talk a lot, says Sherry. That's good. That's good. Anna's on mobile. You can buy your way up. How very capitalistic of it, right? Do we get any of that money? Do we get any part of that if you spend money to make yourselves higher? You have to, Sandra says, you have to 75 XP at the bottom. It tells you what you are. Only the top 3 get the crown with their name. The more you interact, the more points you get. Sherry says, I hope you don't mind dad jokes because they roll out of me. That's all right. That's all right. So YouTube is making chatting a competition. Norma says, I don't know why I'm at the top. I'm not commenting the most. So it says, I'm thinking of the Ram Dass quote, we are all just walking each other home. I like Ram Dass. Absolutely. Just surviving another day is sometimes cause for celebration, right? Susan lost both their parents to different forms of cancer plus other friends. Yeah, it's a hard thing. Sherry says, it's so very hard to express how sad you feel about someone else being hurt. It truly breaks my heart. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not great with that because I never know. I'm one of those people. I never know how to react. You know, it's very hard for me when somebody like, I'm kind of one of those people, like I'm a very compassionate person and I'm very empathetic and I'm very you know, empathic, I think. But when somebody has a great loss like that, or it just it throws me, I don't know. It's almost like I get semi-guarded about it. I don't know. It's a strange thing. Lena says, I'd rather take the money and buy beads, right? Yeah, let's buy some beads. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to look at some beads because I've been chatting for a long while, and I've liked it though. So thank you for chatting with me and being chatty and keeping the conversation going. And let's get started looking at some glass. I'm going to start with some glass strands that I don't know if we've ever shown these. I grabbed some off the wall. Don't tell Andrew, everybody. I think he's listening to his audiobook and not me. So don't tell him. But I grabbed some off of the wall that I don't know that we've ever shown before. And I'm going to show them today. And then we're going to move into a bunch of stuff. So it says, really don't care to make commenting a competition, just enjoying chatting with you all. Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think, I choose to look at this as a fun way to get people engaged, because I can say that, you know, it is nice when people are more engaged in the lives, because it makes my job easier, it makes our job easier. It makes us feel like we're not alone when people are more engaged. When nobody is talking in the chats, it makes it really difficult sometimes to keep things going, because you get very self-conscious very quickly. And like this, I've not felt that way all day because people are chatting. So if YouTube has found a way to get people to, in general, comment more, I'm all for that. I think it helps creators do their thing. Susie says, I've had breast cancer 2 times also. Oops. Plus melanoma. I feel the same way you do. I'll keep you in my prayers. Sherry says, thank you for chatting with us. It was very nice. We're going to keep chatting, but we're going to also show you stuff too. Teresa lost her mama to breast cancer. Then I got cervical cancer, and my younger sister had breast cancer. It's hard to know what to say. It always is. It always is. It's always hard to know what to say. All right. Let us start the show. And hopefully you like this stuff, y'all. We're going to do AAG lots. All about glass. AAG. If you'd like to purchase from this video, please take down the lot number. Send that lot number to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. The first few that I pulled from the wall, don't tell Andrew, I'm only doing one. We have multiples of some of these, but I'm not taking more than one of each. So there's only going to be one of each of the first few, because, you know, I don't want to take all of them. I'm sneaking them out as it is. So we're just going to take a few. Let's see here. Teresa's Lennis, I love buying beads. Me too. Beads make for much happiness. I agree. I agree. Let's see here. Sorry, his comments are skipping and it's harder. Anna says, haha, hoping Andrew doesn't notice, right? That's why I only took one. That's why I only took one, everybody. All right. Maybe he won't notice. First one. These are all vintage Czech for the first 10 or so, something like that. I don't know how many I pulled. 9, 8, 9, 10. Vintage Czech. These are slightly multicolored and multi-sized. Let me move this down. Hello, Danette. Danette's here. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. This is just checking in for a few seconds. Thank you for checking in. Yay for lurking, says Lennis. All right, I'm going to mark this at 8. It's a nice big strand of nice big beads. Vintage Czech. And one of these days I'm going to remember the batteries for this. This is about 9 millimeters for the smaller ones and about 12 millimeters for the larger ones. One strand available, AAG1. AAG1. AAG2. Remember, I'm only doing one lot of each of these. So if you like what you see, I hope you'll grab it quick. These are super cool. I'm going to do these at 8 as well. These are even cooler than I realized. Danette says, I've been replaying the next day. Missed out on a lot of things yesterday. Oh, well. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that. You tried that. We appreciate that. Look at these. And how they fit together. AAG2, $8. This beautiful bright yellow color. I love how these fit together. And I love that color. These are approximately 9 millimeters by about 5. Bow ties. Bow ties, Susanna, right? One of those available. Oh, let me get my email up. It would help if I get my email up, right? Okay. Let's see once it sets itself up. All right. Okay. AAG3. And it says I did place an order from the website today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I saw that come in. AAG3. What'd you think of the new website? The new look of the homepage. AAG3 are these. These are $6 for the strand. These little bicones in this kind of very shampoo-y look. I don't know why my lights feel so dark in here today. Let me move this light down if I can a little bit more. It's a little better, I think. AAG3 just sold, so this one is sold out. Thank you so much. Let me put it away. I'm not going to tease you with it anymore. AAG4. Sorry, 3 tried to sell out again. Only got the 1. This is the new look of the website is nice. It shows that you are real people. That's what I wanted to. That's what we wanted. Let's see here. All right, this is 8 as well. AAG4 are these drops, these juicy drops. Aren't those nice? And those ones are approximately about 14 millimeters by about 4 by about, what is it? 8. AAG4. AAG5. Ooh, these are fun. These are going to be 8 as well. AAG5. Sorry, what are these comments are really hard to read. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to keep up, but it's it did this thing again where it shrunk our comments down to like barely touchable. So I'm trying to see what people are saying. And every time a new comment comes in, it tells me there are new ones. So I'm trying to see. Anna says, did I get 3? Let me see. You did not get 3, but maybe I'll sneak an extra one out. I have a number of those. He might not miss if I sneak an extra one out. We'll see. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. Let's see here. AAG5. Danette says, I like how you are showing things and leaving them up for a while. Yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes I think people like that. I think some people also like the Fast and Furious sometimes too. I don't know. These, look at these. I don't even know what to call these. They're flat on one side and rounded on the other, but they're so pretty. And it's a big strand of them. There are like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, like 31 beads on a strand. Super cool. Danette says, I was hoping for AAG3. If you are hoping for something, send it in, and if I can sneak a few more out, I will try. Some of these I do have a good number of, and I can see what Andrew says, but these ones are the ones behind us, and we do try to keep this rainbow display stocked pretty well, so I can't take too many of everything, but if you want something, send it in, and I will do my best to see if I can sneak a few out here and there for y'all. You know, we always try and make people happy, but I also can't tear apart my whole display because Andrew would not like that because he worked hard on this display, and this is tortoiseshell, right? Yeah, aren't they fun? Super fun. Super fun. And I don't think I have many of these. So I think that one, and that one has sold. So that one I really do think is the only one of those that I can get. So thank you to who got that one. Here, I'm going to leave. You know what? I'm going to put 3 back up because I just looked. I have a good number of 3. I could probably sneak a few more away. So, and 2. I might be able to sneak another one of 2 because I have 2 claims for 2 as well. So I might be able to sneak another one of those out. I think I'm trying to give you all really good prices on these. This is AAG6, $6. It's these red kind of corner drilled cubes. I think we've had these in yellow, the corner drilled cubes before, but I don't know that we've ever shown the red. And these are super nice. And you get the whole strand of them, $6, vintage Czech. So that's what I'm going to say is I would recommend is even if I say it's sold out, if you really want it, send the notice through, and I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do for you. I can't guarantee anything more than 1 or 2 on some of these, but I'll see what I can do. Because I'm trying to see. Depends how depleted it makes the wall look, right? It's funny that that's even a thing. I should just sell as many as we possibly can sell, but sometimes different things are important for different reasons, right? Let's see here. AAG6 has sold. If you still like it, send in an email and I can see what I can do. But at this point, the first one has definitely sold out for sure. Okay. Ooh, I think this one, I'll do it at 8. I really should do it at 10. This one should be a $10 one, but I'm going to do it at 8 for y'all. And I don't think I have many of these. So get your emails in quick if you like this. This is kind of a tiger stripey one, but it's also got a metallic on it. And they're little drooks, they're rounds. They are really, really pretty. And we need to get you more of the colorful Czech beads for the wall. Right? So I can sell these ones and then we can replace them. That's the good part. These are about 10 millimeters. Nice, beautiful. Love that color. And those kind of stripes in there. They're not overdone. Like there's not too many stripes. There's just a few on each bead. But super cool. AAG7 is that one. And we have sold 7. So that's definitely sold. If I have any extras, that one's across the room. So I can't tell for sure. But if I remember correctly, I didn't have many of those. But it's also not right behind the camera, so maybe I can steal a few more of those. So if you like 7 and you'd like to get it, send me an email. Okay. 1 is still available. 2 we've sold multiple of. 3 we've sold multiple of. 4 is still available. So I'm going to leave 1 and 4 out. 2, I'm going to say probably we've done what we can do on those. If you're watching this in the replay, you can send in a request for those and I can see if we have any more. And that's the way it always goes with replays though, is you can always send in a request and we'll do our best to see what we can do for you. But I can't guarantee anything. Boy, for some reason people don't like that yellow color. That amber color? What? Let's see, 5 has sold, and I think I can only do the one of those anyway. So that one we're going to pick up. And this is, those are great beads for the fall, right? Trying to get a little ahead a little bit. Like, fall is in my mind already, and I know I shouldn't be that way because it's barely summer, but I love fall. It's my very favorite season. We did sell 6 and 7, at least one of them, but if you're interested in either one of those, go ahead and send an email and I will check stock. Really, it's a visual thing I have to do and kind of pull some and stand back and see if it still looks good. I wish I could be like, I'm only selling this many, but sometimes it takes up, it takes what it takes, right? Sometimes things are just artistic that way, and you got to look at them and see if it looks okay. Suzanne says mine too. Yeah, I love fall. Love fall. I'm always in a fall mood. There's just something about it. There's a good smell in the air. I love it. I love a forest in the fall. Norma says retail is always a season ahead. Yeah, I wish I could get like that. That's right. We're so not like normal retail. These are really pretty. They're clear, crystal clear, with the metallic. Sanders is better to sell and replace what's on the wall. Maybe, sometimes it's hard to replace what's on the wall. These are vintage. It's very hard to replace vintage beads. Once we sell out of these, there aren't any more, right? And is it better to have a little bit of unique stuff on the wall, or is it better to have cookie cutter stuff on the wall too? Like, we need to be known for having unique things. And if people see unique things on the wall, that's a little bit different, right? So this is AG8, and these are approximately 5 to 6 millimeters. And let's see here. And then the last one of these particular ones is AAG9. There wasn't even 10 that I could feel like I could pull from. I ended up with 9. I don't like doing that, but better to have money in the bank, says Sandra. Maybe. Yeah, it would help my anxiety, but there's also, you do have to think about these things as a business, what you present as, right? And how you present. This is a big strand. I'm going to go with 8. It probably should be 10, but I'm going to go with $8 because it's a big strand, but I want to give you all a good deal. These are these beautiful blue with this silver side. Everyone has a silver side. They're a twisted coin or a twisted oval. And some of them are a little bit rougher than others. They're old, right? Who doesn't get their nicks and and spots as we get older, right? But it's a nice big strand of these, and these are approximately about 10 millimeters by about 12. So it says early fall and spring are my favorites. I do like spring, but if I had to pick one, it's going to be fall. Let's see here. We have some people requesting a few of the previous ones, so I will go through and see what we've got. I will go through and see what we can do for y'all. All right. So those are the ones from the wall. Anybody have any questions or want to see anything up close again before I take them away? Let me start taking them away. AG1 one more time. That's a beautiful, no one has gotten AG1. I'm super surprised. I started out with that one because I thought that was going to be, I was like, I'm going to start off the show with something that everybody's going to want, and it's going to get the show started, and then nobody wanted one. It's just, you never know, right? I thought this one for sure too. I was like, they can't turn this one down, man, y'all. Except that one actually somebody did just grab, so thank you. There's at least one sold of that one. Let's see. Norma says, I like spring, except I know it's heading into 3 months of hot, muggy misery, right? So this is, I'm with you. Norma, our summers are very similar. Those are like drops of honey, says Anna. I know. They are. 6? Anybody buy 6? Yes, we did sell at least one of the 6s. If anybody else wants any, I will check the wall. This is going to take a little bit longer probably to do my spreadsheet tonight because I'm going to be checking on this stuff, but I don't mind. It's nice. It's nice playing with the beads. And this is, I got the red. Thank you. This is 7. This one has a special deal for today. And we'll give that deal through the replay, but that's definitely, it's like if this stuff ever goes in the online store or if it ever goes to the website, like that was 8 down from 10, that'll be at least $10 when it hits. There's AG8. This is I like fall, and yes, I do like winter. Me too. You know, sometimes it's hard for me because my thyroid makes me colder, and so winter is a harder one, but I still like winter. I like it. I used to like it more when I went skiing and stuff and would go out and play in the snow as a kid, but I definitely grew up as a winter kid. Like, we bundled up every day, my brother and I, in our big, we grew up, we had the snow pants and the snowsuits and the big thick coats and gloves, and we would bundle up where we could barely move, but we would still go out and play in the snow. And so I do like winter. I have to say I like winter. Okay, where am I at? AAG10 and AAG10. What am I going to, now I get into my bag, my big old bag. Now these, I believe, are reproduction Warring State beads. So Chinese Warring State beads, and I believe these are smaller reproductions of those. We had these before at 36, and that's a really good price because one of our larger Warring State beads, I think, are $60 to $80 a piece. These being reproductions and smaller, I mean, the other ones are reproductions too, but they're like this big. These being smaller, I'm going to drop it down to 32, but that's as low can go. So if you're interested in those, they're super cool. And that's AAG 10, $32. We're going to have some fun stuff tonight. I told you, all different kinds of things. Glass. As long as it's glass, I'm pulling it. Norma says, I like winter except ice storms. I love snow, and we don't get much here. Yeah, I do. Susan says, I can tolerate winter, Danette, unless I get an icy cold snap. Ice is bad. Ice is always bad, right? Playing in the snow was awesome, says Danette. Wish we still got snow like we used to. I don't like the ice. Yeah, we used to get a lot of snow. I don't know if I wish, because I'd have to do more shoveling, but as an adult now. But yeah, I do like snow. And there is something very special when you get a lot of snow. Not much snow here either, but the ice can be downright dangerous, says Susan. Yeah. All right. This is a beautiful foil glass pendant. This is AAG11, and I'm going to put it at, really this should be about $12, but I'm going to bring it down to, let's just do a half price. What the heck? $6. $6 for this pendant. It has a head pin, and it's already been looped, so if you want to use it that way. Suzanne says, we got more snow than you guys did, right? And this says, I might be going through a midlife crisis. I was catching lightning bugs the other night. Hey, you know, it is what it is, right? Sometimes you got to go back to being a kid. I think that's important. I think we get very serious with ourselves. And I think it's good to revert to our childhood ways sometimes. Norma says, the good thing about snow in Kentucky is we don't usually shovel. We just wait for it to melt. Here, I have to shovel the walks. The city, the borough, they make me do it. They make me do it. Let's do these. I'm going to do these at a really good price. Somebody was asking for opalite last night. And these are these vintage ones that are really, really nice. Normally we sell these for $2 or $3 each. Tonight, I'm going to do them $1 each. $5 for these. Really, really pretty opalite. Vintage quality. Opalite is a man-made or person-made glass. It's made to look like opal. $5, AAG 12. We've sold 11. Thank you so much. Nora says, we're supposed to shovel the sidewalk, but it's rarely enforced, and the snow usually melts the next day. I don't think ours is enforced that often, but you never know who in town likes you or doesn't like you. So we've just sold AAG 12 as well. And now look at these. Normally we do these for $4 or $5 a piece. How about $2 a piece, $6 for the lot of the big ones. These are large opalite, vintage quality. Again, somebody asked for opalite last night. We didn't get to it. Andrew found it, so here it is. If you're watching, I can't remember who did it, who asked for it, but there it is. I've got more too later. But let's see, 12 is sold. I definitely don't have any more of 12, so let me put that away. Unless you want me to leave it out for mix and match purposes, but put that away. And I don't really have mix and match tonight, so we're just going to show lots and leave them out. AAG 11 is also sold. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So this is AAG 10 and AAG 13. Still a bit, oh, nope, 13 has just sold. Thank you so much. Trying to give you super good prices tonight. I know, things are hard. We balance with that all the time. We always want to give you great prices, but we also need to make a living. So we do our best. AAG, where am I at? 14. No, I didn't plan on doing all the opalite together, but here we go. These are more unique, and they're a little bit more pricey. These are these coins, opalite coins, and they're on tassels, right? So that means they're expensive. They are $12 a strand. I'm going to do them for 10 each, and I have 2 of them available. Oh, Charlie's talking about hard candies. I don't know which ones are hard candies. I missed that comment, but don't eat the beads, everybody. Please don't eat the beads. So these are these beautiful vintage opalite coins, and we've got 2 strands here. Here's the other one. And they are $10 a strand, down from 12, which is a really good price. Vintage opalite. Boy, you can barely see them when I set them down. So AAG 14. This is a fun one. And it says, oh, I have those coins, need to make something. Those coins are very cool, says Nancy. Yeah, make something, Lennis. Make something. AAG 15. We had this at 12. I'm going to bring it down again. Let's do half price, $6. We sold both of the 14s. Thank you so much. Both of the 14s have sold. This is this little lampwork glass handmade fish. Super cute. Whoa, don't fall on the floor, little fish. Was $12, now $6. Doing a half price special for y'all. Hole goes through the body, down through. Super dang cute. It's got fish lips on there. Fishy wishy, says Susan, right? There it goes. And look at that fire. That fire orange and yellow. I know somebody likes fire orange and yellow, Norma. You like fish too? It's a cute fishy. $6 only, lampwork glass. I'm going to put away the 14 because that has sold. Both of them have sold. Thank you so much. Let's see here. 15 has sold out multiple times. I'm going to take the fishy away because it has sold out. Nobody wants 10 yet? Nobody grabbed 10 yet? Nope. Nobody wants 10 yet. AAG 10 is still available. If you're interested in the large beads, you can be friends with my fishy that came in my package yesterday. Nice. Yeah, packages are going out. Got lots of packages going out. I'm doing my best. You know, our big reset didn't get me quite as far as I had hoped, especially with watching the girls and all that. But I'm getting much more caught up as time goes on, and I'm feeling good about it. Norma says, did I miss out on the fish? Norma, you got the fish. Someone else, unfortunately, missed out on the fish, but you got it. This is $8 for these glass beads. AAG 16. I love these. I know some of you have gotten these because we had a number of these. We only have this one strand left. These are these black and white bumply goodness beads. There's a lot of beads on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 beads on the strand for only $8. And you also get the spacers. The spacers themselves in there are pretty nice. They look like Czech glass to me. I don't know if they are, but they look like some kind of glass bead as the spacers in there. Let's see here. Danette says, I missed out on the fish. I didn't want to say, but yes, sorry. Norma says, sorry, Danette. So AAG 16, just one of these left. If you missed out on these before and you wanted them, get them now. There's only one strand available. And AAG 10, still available. These big ones. Anybody like the big beads? Down from 36, only $32. Limited time pricing on that. AAG 17, still available. Then it says, oh, well, I couldn't remember what the number was, so waited to see what the AAG number was. I'm trying to leave the pages out there, but I know my hand gets in the way sometimes, right? Let's see something here. That has happened to me many times, right? Wow. I can't believe the price we had on this is it's low. I can't go any lower. This should really, honestly, these should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This should be at least a $34 strand. Andrew put $16 on it, so I'm going to leave it at $16. But this is a whole strand of these glass hearts, and these have some foil in them even. Like, can you see the little, there's some flashing going on in some of these. There's some right there. If we sold these per piece, they should be like $2 each. That's where I'm getting the 34. 17 times 2. $34 for the strand. Like, look at how pretty those are. I don't know if you're seeing the flash. It's hard for me to tell. But it's the whole strand of hearts. Like, you need hearts, you've got lots of hearts. Really, I should probably just take it apart and sell them by the piece. And I mean, people would probably pay $2 a piece for them. But this whole strand has just sold for $16. So thank you so much. It's already gone. I didn't have to talk too hard about that one, so I'm going to put that one away. Okay. AAG 18. How y'all liking the glass show tonight? You like it so far? Okay. Normally these are 12. I'm going to bring them down to 9. I've got 3 of them available. This is African glass in this beautiful light, kind of light blue color. And these are kind of almost bracelet size. They're a little bit bigger than bracelet size, but at least for me. But you're getting about 2, 4, 6. Well, let me line this up a little better. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. About 20 beads on the strand. $9 for the strand. AAG 18 was 12, now 9. And it says fun glass show. Isn't it fun? Like sometimes we focus like on Czech glass, or I like just doing glass. Like this is nice. Okay, nobody wants. Poor 10. Nobody wants number 10. I don't even know where the bag for number 10 went. There's a bag. So I'm going to take 10 away. It's been out long enough. Nobody wants you. Go away. Nobody wants 16 either. Y'all may have gotten 16, the people who like it. So I know we had a number of them before. Teresa says, great show. Thank you. All right. So this is 16. We'll leave it out just a little bit longer. This is 18, the African glass. AAG 19. Now don't make the beads feel bad, says Sandra, right? Don't want to make them feel bad, but sometimes it's just not their day. Sometimes it's not our day. It's all right. Doesn't mean we're less than. It just means it's not our day today. It's okay not to be your day. These we had at 24. I'm not going to charge you 24, but what can I bring them down to? Let's say 18. These are really fun. And yeah, anyway. A lot of you asked for stars and moons stuff. So here's stars and moons, celestial, Czech glass, in this deep kind of garnet red color. And there are kind of 2 colors. There's a darker and a lighter red. But they are drilled through this way, top to bottom. And they've got moon and stars, a crescent moon and stars. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30. There's 33 of them. And we're doing $18 for those. Those are old. Those are vintage. Those are very unique. AAG 19. Can't go lower right now than that. Then it says 19, the moon and stars look like they are smiling. I know, right? If you hold them like where the hole goes through, they're smiling. Or they're frowning. No, it doesn't look like that because that makes it look like the nose. Yeah, they definitely look like smiling, right? Definitely look like they're smiling. All right. Those are still available so far. I thought those would fly out of here because those are so unique. And they're celestial. They're like what everyone keeps asking for on the Total Request Lives. I pulled those just because of that. Here's a mix and match. For those of you who like mix and match, And I'm going to throw it super low price on those, $6. $6, mix and match lot. You get these tubes. This looks like amethyst, right? And then you get one of these little lampwork, little frilly things. And there's some more tubes in there and kind of this green and gray. And then you get a lot of paddles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 different paddles. And then this paddle's more like a leaf. This is a leaf. So it's a leaf. And then you get them in this beautiful periwinkle and this kind of garnet, the berry garnet color, and a light blue, another one of these darker blues, a minty green, and another little garnet berry. So AAG 20, $6. I think that's a really good price for that. I hope you all think so. Oops, hold on 1 second. Checking the email. What's going on here? Okay. So 16 has not sold, so I'm going to put it away. I need to make room. Let's see. What number was this? 18. 18 is not sold either. I think I can leave this out for a little bit more. These African glass beads. 19 is still here. I am so surprised. I know that's a little bit extra though, right? That's a little bit more expensive. You know. All right. I'll drop this to 16. $16. That's it. That's where I'm going with that. Let's see. 20 has just sold though. Thank you so much. 20 has sold. I want you all to have 19 because you keep asking for the celestials. Somebody's going to do something fun with them, but I can't go any lower. So I've done what I can do. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. It's all right. Moving on, right? Move on, William. Move on. Okay. I'll talk myself into it sometimes. Let's do, let me see these. Let me see these. Oh no. Where are you going? Okay. That was just a loose bead in the bag anyway. Let's do this $6. These are nice, but it's a shorty strand. AAG 21 are these beautiful vintage Czech leaf beads. Very, again, we're getting into kind of, some of these are summer, like the green and clear, the frosted could be summer. The brown is getting into a little bit of a fall color, right? It's a nice little strand. And those beads are about 12 by 10. No, 8. 12 by 8, 12 by 7, somewhere in there. AAG 21. Susan says they would be lovely for fall, right? And they're really cute. And they're a flat bead. They're frosted, which is really cute. And then they've got that cute little groove in them. Good designed leaves. I like those. AAG 21. AAG 22. Lampwork. Beautiful lampwork. You can see this is 32. I'm not going to charge you 32 today though. So we'll put 32. I'm going to bring it down to 27. I was like 28, but let's do 26. I can't quite go to 26. Let's do $27. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lampwork beads. That's less than $2.70 a bead. And these are so pretty. Like, I don't know if you can see, like those are kind of a clear on the inside, but they've got that fuming on the outside. Look how pretty that glass is. Those are super pretty beads. Those would be beautiful in earrings where you could see both sides of where that is fumed and not. And then you get these wonderful beads. Then this one, look at that one. I love that little squinchy bead. I don't know what you call that, but beautiful. That's what you call it. And then these opal kind of purple and grays. There's another one of those fume beads. I don't think they're actually fume. I don't know what they are. I don't know lampwork well enough, but those are really pretty. There's another one of those. You go back to those, back to another one of those, and then you got the edge ones, the end ones. $27, AAG 22. I think that's the lowest we've ever gone on that strand. In fact, I know it is because I've got all of the slips anytime we've shown it before. That's the lowest price ever on that strand. AAG 22. Okay. Let me see what I can do on this one. Let me see how many beads are on here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 beads. Let's do them for $14. $22 originally. This long strand of these beautiful glass beads. They're bicolor beads, so on the inside the cores are bicolor, and then they do these kind of little floral designs on the outside. Kind of look like little tulips. They're just abstract, but they're super beautiful. And there are 25 beads on that strand. Was $22, bringing it down to $14 for you all. All different colors. Beautiful beads. AAG 23. $14 only. And that one has sold real quick. Thank you so much. That one is sold out. Let me put that away. All right, this one's not selling these. Let's put these away. I'm still not giving up on 19 yet. I know I should. I know I should just give up, but I'm gonna hold out a little bit longer. A little bit longer. Danette says, did I get 23? You did, Danette. Yes, you got 23. That was a good deal. Good deal. Okay. Keep moving this mat down so y'all can see these numbers and stuff. And I'm moving it off the table. I'm like, why don't I just bring the beads down instead of the whole mat? Okay. AAG 24. Dennis says, yeah, they look so pretty. They are pretty. They are pretty. They don't just look it, they are it. Okay, we had this at 24. I'm going to bring it down to 20. I shouldn't, because it is really, really special. This is a hollow bead that has been, let me get it the right way. It's a hollow bead that has been hand painted from the inside. These are painted with tiny little brushes. They insert them and paint them on the inside, so it's protected. And this is of a little bluebird, well, bluebird with a red neck. And then the artist has signed it on the back. And then I don't know what that says. If anybody can read that, please let me know. Norma says, yay, Danette, you beat me on that while I was still typing. Yeah, Danette was quick on that one. This is a beautiful, it's hollow blown. Obviously, it has to be so they can get the brush down in there. This is AAG 24. Was $24, bringing it down to 20. Really pretty work of art. And to think that it's drawn, like, I don't even know how you would have such control to get your brush in there and then paint it on the inside. But they do. That's what they do. One of them available. Oh, and that bead is about 33 millimeters by 33 how is that? 33? No, I'm sorry. We're not quite at the 30. 28 by 33. My batteries are out, so I'm using the analog up here, and my eyes some days, my brain some days. AAG 25. I'm having fun with this glass show because I had fun picking all these different kinds of glass. How about these? Big, juicy, juicy beads. These were 12. Bring them down to 8. I got 2 of them. Big, juicy, giant kind of crystal beads. They have a kind of purple on one side, purple metallic, and then they have that beautiful red, kind of a transparent red. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see like a deeper core, but it's a lighter glass up here. They're really pretty. They're nice long strands. And let me see here. You get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 beads on there. 19 beads approximately. And these are only $8 a strand. These are pretty nice big beads if you like big beads. This is about 27 millimeters by about 13. And they're super juicy. Looking for that berry and flash. There it is. Vintage strand. Not sure from where in the world that comes. I think they're Chinese, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a nice vintage glass though. AAG 25, $8 each. Glenna says tempting, right? They're nice and big. Nice and big. But they're not that heavy. Each one, I would easily make those into an earring and not be concerned it would be too heavy for people in the store. We've sold one of those so far. Thank you so much. There's one left if anybody's interested. AAG 26 coming up. Let's see. Had these at $14 for the pairs. We're going to bring it down to 10 for them all. Come on. There we go. Have them at 14, bring them down to 10. You get these two beads, kind of like a lentil beads, right? Foil inside, and then they come with these, which are super cool. Like I'm used to seeing the foil kind of beads done in this kind of lentil shape, but this is kind of new with the foil inside the round. These are super cool. And you get the pair, or all four of them. I call them a pair because they're kind of like, they're nice little earrings right there for $10. AAG 26. All right, y'all, I have to give up on 19. Nobody wants it. Let's put it away. Poor 19. Well, I'll live to see another day. Someone will find it and fall in love. It's just not today. It's not your day. So let's take 19 away. It's not your day, 19. Not your day either, 21. This is William, don't scold the beads. I'm not. I'm consoling them so they're not too sad. Right? It'll be their day someday. Someday. Somewhere. All right. Let's leave 22 up there for now. I could see 22 and 26 being a really awesome kind of coordinating set. Look at that. 22 and 26 together. We're not mix and matching, but that's some pretty good mix and matching right there without even trying. Look at that. Ooh, I love those colors. Those colors are all me. That purple, black, and silver. Love it. All right, let's move this one up. We've still got one of 25 available as well. All right, can you all see that still? Okay, where am I at? 27. No! Can't leave the cap off. 26 would make great earrings. Yes, they would. They're already paired up, ready to go. So I said, when I saw these, I'm like, ooh, somebody's going to want these for earrings. I mean, look. Look at that. Put a little S-word crystal amethyst color bicone in between or something like that. Any purple crystal or purple piece of Czech glass or a black. Do a black too. I'd put a purple though, I think. Could put a silver spacer too maybe, but I think I'd go with purple. Purple would be my pick. Can I say purple again? Purple, 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 purple. All right, here's another piece of lamp work. This was 20. I'm going to bring it down to 16. And I shouldn't because it is stunningly beautiful. And I don't know who made it. But look at this. I don't know if I can get more light in there because I feel like this needs more light to bring out how beautiful that is. Make sure your phone screens are turned up. Turn up the brightness because you want to see all of this. Look at those colors. Lena says, surprise, 22 isn't sold. 5 pairs of earrings with an orphan or a great bracelet. I know, right? For $27? Like, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. I don't think. Especially when the old price tag is still on there, and it was 32. We're not fooling you. And that was the price back when. $32. And then this one is 16, down from 20. Beautiful lamp work. Pendant or just bead, whatever. Whatever, you do what you want. That one has sold. Thank you so much. Someone got a great deal on that one, because that one's never been dropped in price before. That's the first time price drop. Something we haven't done, I feel like, in a while is do some giveaways. You want to do a giveaway? I want to do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. Let me find something to give away. Something that goes with the flow of the night. What can I find here? Where am I? What's going on? I only have certain things here beside me. That's not quite nice enough to give away. What do I want to use? Now I gotta think of a giveaway question. Oh, we just sold 26 as well. Just sold 26 as well. Thank you so much, y'all. Let me put that away. Oh, those are nice. You're gonna really like those. You're gonna really like those. When you get them and see them in person, you're gonna be stunned, because they're, I'm sure, better in person. How about this lot of Czech glass as a giveaway? You like that? And let me see, what kind of question can I ask? Okay. This will be, for those, of course, who watch us often, name our 3 girl cats. Name all 3 of our girl cats. And the first one to get it right that we see in the comments here wins this lot of Czech glass. And these beads are approximately 12 millimeters. 12 millimeters. You get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 beads. Let's see. Danette got there first. It changed to Tallulah to tabular, but I'm gonna take it because I know that you know what you meant. So these go to Danette. Thank you so much. Okay, put your name on that. All right, maybe we'll do another giveaway in a little bit once I think of a question. As soon as this autocorrect is awful, right? Yeah. AAG28. I think we're on 28, right? Yeah, it says that's so funny. Autocorrect is naming the kitties. Yeah, right? Charlie says, I love when I check back in and see more lovely candies. Nice. Nice. 28. We're on 28. 28. All right. Let's see here. Whoa! Stop moving. My fat fingers hit the wrong keys. That happens too, for sure. For sure, for sure. I'm going to save these for later in case we do more, because I just found those, and those weren't in the original groupings. Well, these are pretty. These were $16 for the pair. I'm going to bring them down to $14 for the pair. AAG28. Oh, we just sold 24. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is the pair of lampwork glass beads. Again, another great match to 22 that is still available. It's like I was drawn to these colors today. So this is AAG 28. And these are, I shouldn't call them beads. They're not beads. They're kind of half drilled. So they could be made into buttons, but they are not beads. There's no all the way through hole. So AAG 28, $14. And let me put 24 away because that has just sold. Thank you, thank you. One more 25 is left. We have 28 available up here. So this is, oh, I love those colors. Me too. These are beautiful. Whatever glass they used in that, stunningly beautiful. AAG 29. How about this? Quick little strand of African. I'm going to price it real quick to move. $2. $2. 5 little African glass beads in the green color. $2. There you go. Easy peasy. Let's see if that goes quick or not. I need a garbage can over here. One moment while I move some of this stuff around. Let's take this over here. I'm making a mess between old labels and extra bags that things are in. Okay. Susan says beautiful. We've had some really great glass beads tonight. AAG 30. This one's fun. This was 28. I can't go much lower, but I'm going to bring it down to 26 for you. This is kind of, it is. It's a brooch or a pin. So this is a pin back on it. So it's kind of already a made piece of jewelry. And it's probably from Andrew's collection of vintage jewelry. But it's a dichroic glass pendants with those seed beads and loop around. And I think it would be really striking on a blazer or something like that. Like, how fun is that? Heck, if it doesn't sell for $26, I might wear it. Keep it and wear it. I think it's kind of really fun. And put it on like a black velvet blazer. And I think that would be really cool. AAG 30. One of those available, obviously one. Okay. What's next in my bag of goodies? This is a modern one. And the price it's on is the price I got to charge. AAG 31. $10 are these table cut coins, Czech glass, modern, contemporary Czech glass. And they're in this beautiful kind of aqua color. And these coins are approximately just about 10 to 11 millimeters. And one strand of those available. They were 10. I got to do it at 10. AAG 31. All right, let's pick some of these up. 22, I guess, is not going to sell tonight, so that's going back in the bag. That's okay. At that price, $27, I'll probably, maybe I'll make something with it. Like if I start tearing apart a strand that's in the 30s, that's different. But if I tear apart a strand that's like in the 20s, that's not too bad. All right. And then we have this one. We still have one of those available. If anybody wants another AAG25, I think we've only sold one of those. Move this back a little bit so I've got some room. Good. There we go. All right, we'll move 28 over here. It's still available. 29 is still available. 30 is still available. And 31 obviously is still available. Let me check my email, make sure I'm not missing anything. Charlie says, this may be a dumb question, but how fragile are glass beads on bracelets? I'm not a careful person, so I've been wary to wear any on my wrist. It depends what you're doing, but like borosilicate beads, those are definitely hard. And that's usually like this kind of bead, this kind of glass, super hard. Think Pyrex, right? Think Pyrex. That's borosilicate, original Pyrex. Other lampwork glass beads, it depends what you're doing, but like through normal use, you should not have generally issues if you're just wearing them around for the day. And I mean, I have some bracelets that are glass that, you know, I've clunked around a little bit. All glass is going to be different, obviously, but generally, like we say, if you're not rolling around in the concrete, this stuff is made to be turned into jewelry for the most part. So it's going to withstand some normal wear and tear. Do the mint ones glow? I don't believe so. I don't have a light here though. Let me see if I have one on my desk. 1 second. I'll be back. We'll check. They don't glow under like regular light. Let me check black light if I have one on my desk. I do not. So I can't tell you for sure. I don't think they do, but I could be wrong. AAG 32. All right. This was 18. I'm going to bring it down to $15. AAG 32 is this beautiful lampwork glass bead. And this is if the glass has been properly annealed, they will be fine for a bracelet. If not, save them for a necklace or earrings instead. Yeah, and the beads should be good. And thanks for answering that question. I might try to incorporate more glass. Yeah, you should do it. I'd like to see it. Says, I'm making Korean short ribs. Ooh, boy. That sounds delicious. I could go for some of that, except I don't eat meat. Look how beautiful this bead is, though. Look at the colors in that. Like a sunset. Like a sunset. Some of that that gold flash, sparkly gold glass around there. One bead available. AAG 32, $15. AAG 33. Let's see, how many do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these. I don't know how many I have available. I didn't think to count them before we started this. Are these Czech glass top drilled coins? They're purple with a gold luster. They are $3.50 per lot of 12. And I do have multiples available. I don't know how many I have. So if I sell multiples, I'll check it out afterwards. But these are super pretty in person. They're 12 millimeters. I don't know if you're getting the color on those. Again, it's this purple combination that I'm loving tonight. But this kind of luster over the purple. Super duper pretty. Some of them are more purple than others. There are actually two different kinds of beads in there. The whole mix is like that. So these are a lighter glass. And then you have some with the purple in there. This is a little bit of purple, but not as much. They're just really pretty. $3.50 each. We've sold 2 lots of them already. I know I definitely have 2 lots. I can tell just by looking in the bag. But I don't know how many I actually have until I count them later. But thank you. I have 5 of these available. They are $3 each. Let's see. Lennis is saying, Boro is harder than soda lime, but both are good when annealed. You can tell lampwork hasn't been annealed. It has a different sound when it clinks, and it will break. These are $3 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads. These are a more modern Czech. And you get 8 beads for $3. I have 5 lots of those available. Oh, excuse me. AAG 34. All right, let's see here. 28 hasn't sold, so I'm going to put it back. Thank you all for taking a look. What do I have next? 29. That needs a little bag, just a little bag. 29 is still available. I'm surprised at that. Nobody wants to grab those for $2? It's all right. 30 is still available. I'm not shocked at that, honestly. I'm not shocked at that. That is a unique piece, and it's not for everyone. Can definitely say that it is not for everyone. That one is still available, 31. And let's move 32, 33, and 34 up here. Here we go. All right. AAG 35. Those aren't all bad. Let's see, that's nice. Okay, these were 12. I'm going to do them for a ridiculously low 10. I have 6 lots of these left. This is a whole bag of these little frosted kind of pears. And look at those. Really pretty. Be super great for throwing into earrings or forming them, you know, like kind of like this into a bracelet. But you get the whole small bag of them. AAG 35 was $12 per bag, down to $10. And there's really a lot of them in there. And they glow so good. They've got great luminosity to them. Danette's calling it a night. Good night. Danette, we've only got 5 lots left. We're going to 40. That's it. Can't stay up for 5 more? 5 more lots? I get it. If you can't, you can't. It's all right. Oh, and my laptop can't stay up either. It just died. I thought I had plenty of battery power in it. See, Andrew always tells me not to play with fire with the power, and I do anyway. Okay. There we go, back up and running. All right, AAG 36. I know these also came from our wall, because I recognize these. Let me see here. Let me trim this off. These knotted. Oh, good. So I was worried they were going to come off the strand and not be knotted. They're knotted. All right. It's these. I'm going to make these $6 each, and we've got 2 of them available. Look at me pulling purple again. Purple triangles, vintage Czech glass. Purple triangle beads drilled through the center. And we have 2 strands of those, AAG 36. $8. AAG 37. And it says, oh, I have those purple triangles from you. They are a great size for earrings. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Be very careful with these. These are little. Look at all these. Can you see that? All these African glass beads. A whole bunch of these African glass beads. And they are AAG 37, $8 for the whole thing. AAG 37. What a good deal. Come back here. Come back here, you. Okay, these are those. Three. 34 hasn't sold. Put 34 away. Okay, 35. Surprised nobody wants these. These are so nice. Like, can't you imagine mixing like these together? Those would be fun mixed together to make an earring. Good prices. Okay. 7. AAG 38. What's left in my bag? I have a few things I can show. Ooh. Oh, okay. This was 32. Let's do really good for y'all. Since those of you who are still out there with me, thank you for hanging out all night. I'm going to give you a really good deal if you like these. This is a vintage Indonesian glass strand. Was $32. Going to do $20 on it. Vintage Indonesian glass. Really cool, beautiful kind of bicones. I love the bubbles trapped in there. It looks so cool. Only one strand available. Vintage Indonesian glass. Was $32 for the strand, bringing it down to $20 for someone if they want that. This is a really lovely bicone shape, right? Imagine those in your just by themselves, or maybe with like some gold, just a little bit of gold. Super pretty. AG 38. One strand available. Oh, let me give you the size. These are approximately about 12 to 13 millimeters by about 15 to 16 millimeters. AAG 38. Still available. Okay. AAG 39. I don't know if I can beat that price in that. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Let's do this. This was an $8 strand. Let's put it down to 6. AAG 39. This was a strand that came apart Let go. These are these large Czech glass. They're a deep red with green finish, like a green. I always call it Picasso. I don't know if it's all Picasso or if Picasso is a very particular color and finish, but these are super pretty. Faceted rounds, Czech glass, large size. These are about 14 millimeter. And there are 10 of them here. Was $8 for the strand, now $6. If I strand it back up, it's going back up, just saying. $6 for the strand. AAG 39. AAG 40. Last lot of tonight, and then we'll do some giveaways for those of you who are still here. How about that? Let's see. What do I want to show last? I pulled a bunch of stuff thinking I'd do 50 lots, but it's getting late, isn't it? We talked a lot today. Did a lot of talking today. How about these? Okay, let me put these back so I can make room, because the next one is a big one. Okay, AAG 40. Was 24. I'm going to bring it down to, let's bring it down to 18. I shouldn't go to 18, but I'm going to go to 18. I'm going to put it up here. It's this whole big lot. Hold on. Get out of there. You're blocking the way. This whole giant lot of these kind of corner drilled squares, but on the corners they're also lopped off. So it's an interesting shape. And you get all of those. Suzanne says, I've been on more than I expected, but so nice. Thank you. We appreciate all of the support, everybody. So you get this whole lot. I don't know how many are here, but that's definitely more than like 3 strands. 6, 12, 18. $6 a strand. I think we had the corner drill at the beginning. I think they were $8 a strand. So 8, 16, 24. There's definitely more than 3 strands there. AAG 40. And it's this beautiful gray-green, which really, honestly, if you matched it with these, is a beautiful combination. You put some of these in between some of those. You've got some loveliness going on right there. And you could get both those lots together for $38, and you'd have an abundance. Less than $40, you'd have an abundance of beads. I think that would make a lovely bracelet. Or actually make a few bracelets if you did that with some of that other green. Really pretty. Really pretty. All right, y'all. Let's do a few giveaways. What do you all want? What do you all want for giveaways? Now I gotta think of a question. I gotta think of a question. Boy, it's harder to think on my feet. Surprise us, Susanna. I'm trying. I think I found something you all might like. Maybe. Okay, here's this. There's a page I talked about on our website that I just updated today. What was the page on our website that I just updated today? And this is the prize. It's all of these beautiful glass rounds, these little tiny drooks. You get the whole bag of them. What page on the website did I just update today? Talked about it at the beginning of the video. Anybody know? Suzanne says Andrew's page. No, that was yesterday. Mine and Andrew's was yesterday. What page did I update today? Anna says I missed it. Oh no. Oh no. Is anybody gonna know? Anybody gonna know? Give it a few more minutes. Anybody? Let me pick another prize because we're gonna do another one too. So let me pick another one out while you're all thinking about that one. And how about for these green ones? All these green glass tubes, you get the whole bag of these. And the question about this one is, we are teaching, well, Andrew is teaching this weekend. Where is Andrew teaching for this green bag? Where is Andrew teaching? Oops, I missed one there. Andrew's teaching this weekend. Where, what, at what business, I should say. At what business is Andrew teaching in? For that. And okay, Norma got that one. Thank you so much, Norma. You won that one. It's contemporary craft. Contemporary craft this weekend. Anybody guessing on the page I updated on the website? Okay, since nobody got that, how about what page have I yet to update on the website? What's the last page that I've not updated yet out of the pages I was wanting to update? What page have I not updated yet? We'll rearrange that. That'll be this question now. What page have I not updated yet on the website? Here's a hint. You can go to the website and see which one doesn't have a link yet. And let's see here. Oh, Norma got that one too. Thank you so much. Star Cottage I've not updated. The one I updated today was for Allegory Gallery in Johnstown. That's the one I updated today. And Star Cottage is the one I have yet to update. My thinking cap has gone to sleep, says Susan. That's all right. It happens. I was going to do another one, but I'm out of paper. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. It was really nice to hang out with you all and chat and show you all some good beads. I hope you like them. Excuse me. There are lots of things still available. So if you are watching the replay, please feel free to send in your requests. If you saw something you thought you wanted, send in a request anyway, and I'll check it for you to see if it's sold yet. All right. Don't forget, 25% off in the online store at allegorygallery.com using the discount code July 4th. That's JULY, the number 4, TH, July 4th. And that'll go through this weekend, and that'll help us. Andrew's going to need some gas money very soon, so that'll help us out with that. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Andrew will start it because I'll be at my pottery class, so Andrew will start with something here tomorrow, and then I'll be joining in later in the night. So thank you all so much for hanging out these past 3 hours. Wow. Thank you for hanging out with me, those of you who made it to the end. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.